Hi, my name is Howlader. I run Howlader Co, Chartered Accountants and Chartered Tax Advisors. Thanks for taking the time to look at this video. I'm going to run you through what we are and what we do. First of all, we're chartered. What does that mean? Essentially it means you're protected because we're well regulated. And I must say I've been almost angered at times by unscrupulous accountants ripping off their clients, taking deposits up front, not accounting for themselves, and just running away on occasion and closing down, giving bad advice, leaving people in the lurch, unfortunately. Being chartered has its other fringe benefits. You get taken a little bit more seriously when perhaps you're applying for loans or mortgages or dealing with HMRC, so it has other benefits too. But don't be under any illusions. HMRC has no money, the government has no money, and they're coming after you. So make sure that you're well protected, whether it's by us or by another chartered accountant, and you're paying the right amounts of tax. That means not too little, which means you'll get a time bomb later on, and not too much, which means you're out of pocket. A little bit about the tax system. It's kind of almost awe-inspiring in a bad way. It's huge, it's very, very complicated. The UK's tax system is the most complicated in the world, I would say. It's unbelievable. The US comes close. And you probably need someone to navigate you around that minefield, unless you're very, very clever. There are so many little things that you may not know about. Everyone knows about, the price of beer going up by a penny every year, or cigarettes or something, because these are always in the news. Did you know that inheritance tax takes almost half of whatever you inherit if it's over a certain amount? Did you know that even though inheritance tax is terrible, that car benefit tax, that means, your company car that you're driving, that's really, really hurting you financially. So, by the way, if you have a company car, try and negotiate a different deal where you get paid a bit extra in cash, take a loan out perhaps, and pay the loan off by using the extra cash you get from your company rather than taking a company car. You benefit at the end of the day, and so does your employer, and by the way, you get more choice of cars. That's the kind of advice we'd give you, with lots of little practical tidbits. I think it's not just terrible news and all of that. There's actually some funny stories I've come across. For example, once I heard of a friend who was in a tax inquiry, and he didn't declare a bit of minicab income, and the tax inspector just asked him about it, and what happened? He pretended to fall asleep in the meeting. So obviously then they engaged us, and we took it on from there, and they didn't get off scot-free, but at least they didn't have to fall asleep in any more meetings. Things were taken care of from there and then. We're there to kind of hold your hand a little, really. In terms of hopefully being useful to you, I think we can be more useful than, say, your average cheap accountant, who, by the way, is the most expensive type of accountant there is, the cheap accountant, so avoid them like the plague. I can give you a little example. So even if you're employed, you think you don't need an accountant. Well, have you thought that you could be claiming a few more expenses that, say, your payroll department hasn't taken care of? Some company car miles, some use of mobile phone that, of course, you've been required to take by your bosses that you haven't been reimbursed for. Well, maybe you haven't been reimbursed, but you can take it through a tax return, maybe get a tax rebate. That kind of thing could probably cover your accounting fees depending on your circumstances. And even if you're, say, got some rental income, little things like have you furnished the place? Are you claiming the 10% wear and tear? Do you know if it's better than if you're taking something else called the replacement basis? By the way, all these things are on our blog, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Other things like for business owners, do I buy this computer? Do I rent this car? Do I get it on a hire purchase? What's a finance lease? What's an operating lease? What are these things? What do I get? What's more expensive? What does it mean for tax? These are the kind of things that I get asked all the time. So I don't suggest that you try and look these things up on Google and spend 4 hours doing that when you can just spend 2 minutes talking to us and we give you the answer, depending on your situation. And last but by no means least is startups. If you're starting a business, you absolutely do need a good accountant, a chartered accountant again. you know, there's so many questions. There's VAT. Do I VAT register? Do I VAT register from day one, or do I wait till the last moment? Do I have to VAT register? Do I do the flat rate? Do I do the annual accounting? What's the cash accounting scheme? Is it the same for accounts? What is VAT, by the way? I thought it was the same as tax. No, it's not. Well, kind of it is. Do I pay myself in dividends or salary? What's a drawing? How do I pay myself? When do I pay myself? Do I have to pay everything to the government on day one? Or can I pay myself monthly? Is it better to pay as a bonus? All these, what's P11D? What does that mean? Do I have to pay tax on? Do I have to pay tax on you know, pubs? You know, taking my clients down the pub? Surely that's allowable for tax, isn't it? Taking them for a few drinks? Well, no, it's not. Those kind of things get asked all the time, and there's tons and tons of misconceptions. Everyone comes to me in tax expert because they've been misinformed by their friends and family. So hopefully we can explode a few of those myths and make sure we go along the right paths. You know, what kind of, can you claim your rent? Can you claim your home rent against your tax? Well, actually sometimes you might be able to, depend in very specific circumstances. By the way, we've blogged about that too. So without any further ado, I'm going to talk about our blog a little on our website. It does not look like much. It's kind of basic looking, but the content is very, very good. And the reason for that is it's been specifically asked for, most of it. Most of it has been asked for by our clients. We've answered it and then we blog about it. So I'm hoping it's of practical use to people. You know, little things like our tax calculator. I've been told lots of my friends and family use it. People who aren't even clients cheekily using it. You're more than welcome to. Things like, what's my take home? If I've just employed someone, what does it actually cost me? Most tax calculators don't tell you that. What does it actually cost me to employ someone? Our one does. Our tax cards are nice and up to date, hopefully quite clear to read. And we've got an Ask an Accountant section, so all these things I've just asked you can write a little one-liner to us, and you know, if it's not too bad, we'll just write you a couple of line answer, and hopefully it will set you on the way. Do check us out on Facebook. Try the phone challenge, the Howlader Co phone challenge. We'll endeavour to answer it within one ring. See if you can't, you'll get a free coffee or something. I'll get one of the juniors to make you one. That, I believe, is it. If you have any other questions, do please call and say hello, and if you're in the area, do pop by.